Hello AOS fans, it's me Pete, and I'm back with another deck video. Yes, it's been a while, the summer holidays have finally rescinded and Robin and I are slowly getting back to some semblance of order. So we figured we'd kick things off with one of our Patreon requests. Do check out the links below in the description for all the myriad ways that you can support our channel. The Patreon is just one of them, but our Patreon supporters of the $10 and up, they can pick the battle reports they want to see. They do get a chance to drive the channel, and the one they requested this week is Farstriders against the Profiteers. So I'm taking on the Farstriders because Robin hasn't had much chance with the Profiteers yet, although I don't think I have either, and I haven't played Farstriders in yonks. So I figured, you know what, let's see what Sanson and his boys can dish out now. It's going to be a pretty shooty match this, and I think that's one of the reasons why it was requested, and I am sort of looking forward to that, to see how range generally does in the game. So let's start with objectives. My first one is punishing volleys. You score this in an end phase if you made at least 3 successful Boltstorm Pistol, Overcharged Boltstorm Pistol or Plasma Pistol attacks in the preceding action phase. Now when I first picked this one, I thought it sounded pretty good, but you know what, on reflection you've got to make 3 successful attacks, and I kind of glossed over that when I first built this deck, so on reflection, possibly wouldn't take this card. Next one I've got is Alone in the Darkness. I'm trying to make this deck as generic as I can and not trying to think about who I'm coming up against. I know it's the Profiteers, but I am trying to ignore that fact. Alone in the Darkness is possibly a very good card with Farstriders already, Stormcast Warband, and it is 2 glory. Conquest next. I am planning on getting up in their face because the Farstriders aren't bad up close. They can shoot at range, but they are also pretty good up close as well, and I've got to get into my opponent's side to inspire, so I might as well get Conquest at the same time. Also, another 2 glory. Then Escalation, because why wouldn't you? I think I'm nearly always going to take Escalation until they ban Season 1 or whatever they're going to do. Master of War next, because it's a nice easy 1 glory one. You know what, it's actually quite hard there with all of the bar list objectives floating around to actually pick a lot of ones that I can think that I want to take. So Master of War's gone in there because it's a fairly easy one to achieve. Branching Fates next. I roll a lot of 3 dice attacks, so hopefully I'll have a lot of chance to score this one. Next one is Death from Afar. Score immediately if a friendly fighter takes an enemy fighter out of action while at least 3 hexes away. Well, I've got a lot of shooty attacks, so hopefully that one should be fairly doable. And then I've got Keep Chopping, make 4 attack actions, so pretty much just keep attacking every turn. Should be able to achieve that with my range. I can hopefully charge, get an attack off on the 3rd go, and then charge on the 4th. And then Strong Start. Score immediately if you kill somebody first in a round. Well, I'm hoping I should be able to chop and 8 people, so that should be fairly doable for me. What Armor next? Well, I've got a few multiple options in here of getting Cleave off, so hopefully What Armor should be easy to score. Fusillade next, scoring end phase if your warband made an attack action with a range of 3 or more in 4 or more activations. Well, hopefully I can get Fusillade and I can get Keep Chopping at the same time and just shoot rate people left, right and centre. And Warning Shot. Some of my attacks are going to miss, so I might as well get a glory when I do. So those are my objectives. What am I going to use to score that glorious glory? Well, here are my Gambits. First one is Lightning Blow. It's a Farstrider specific one. +1 damage for the first attack in the next activation. Very nice. Also very handy because it's +1 damage and there's no restriction on it. A lot of these cards are getting restricted now, so taking this one because it's a Warband specific one and they're not going to get restricted anytime soon. Next one is Patient Defense. +1 defense for the first friendly fighter to be targeted by an attack action in the next activation. That's very handy. And then have Rapid Volley. I can place as a reaction after a friendly fighter's Boltstorm Pistol or Overcharged Boltstorm Pistol or Plasma Pistol attack. They can make another Boltstorm Pistol, Overcharged Boltstorm Pistol or Plasma Pistol attack that targets the same fighter. So very handy for me to get off a lot of shots in one go and try and take somebody out. Helpful for scoring several of my objectives, especially things like Strong Start. And then also have Steady Volley. The first friendly fighter to make a Boltstorm Pistol or Overcharged Boltstorm Pistol or Plasma Pistol attack in the next activation can be pushed 1 hex before they do so. Very handy to help me score Fusillade without having to worry about getting into position, and also Keep Chopping. And then have Distraction, an oldie but a goodie. Nearly always going to take Distraction because it's just handy for stuffing up your opponent, especially if they're going for objectives, but also to shove them closer to you if you need to. It's just always good to get that extra move when you need it. And then have Jewel of Wits, primarily to hopefully get through my cards. I do have 22 cards in this deck, so the more cards I can get out, the better. And then I have Improvisation, so I'm running both Jewel of Wits and Improvisation. Jewel of Wits has less use these days, I think, because more magic's floating around and you can't use Jewel of Wits with magic, but you know what, I think it's still a very useful card, ignoring the fact that I'm coming up against Profiteers this time. Improvisation is here and very handy because if you can burn through all your cards and you have Improvisation left, it's just as 3 extra cards to take. Obviously, if you do have something you have to get rid of, then there can be a downside to it, but there's got to be a downside to everything when it's that good, right? I've then got Inspiration Strikes. My plan is, whilst I do have to get into my opponent's half, I would like to inspire before that, if at all possible, or at least inspire before I get there. Inspiration Strike should help me out with that, lovely. I then have Ready for Action! Pretty ubiquitous card, nearly always going to take in every deck I make these days. I think everybody is, because it's such a very handy card. Will it ever be completely banned? I don't know, because it still has a few requirements on it. You've still got to have an upgrade, you've still got to have the glory to put that upgrade on, so it can still be restrictive. And I've found myself in situations before where you draw that card, you haven't got the upgrade, you haven't got the glory, and it's a dead card then. So I still think it's a pretty nicely balanced card overall. Plus everyone takes it, so everyone gets their go with it. I then have Trap. Play this after I push someone back, or drive them back rather. The enemy fighter suffers 1 damage. Very handy, because I'll be doing lots of plinky damage for my shooting, so Trap gives me another +1 damage on that, as well as with Lightning Blow. And then I have Raptor Strike. I do like this card. Basically, pick an enemy fight within 4x's, they take another 1 damage. So between that, Trap and Lightning Blow, I've got an extra 3 damage there. With all my plinky damage, I should be able to take someone out fairly quickly, all things considered. So those are my Gambits, and they're going to help me score that glorious glory. And what am I going to spend it on? Well, these are my upgrades. I've actually taken 5 Warbound specific cards here, because I quite like a few of them. So first one is Flashing Hand Axe. 2 hammers, 3 damage and cleave. Pretty brutal. It gives me cleave as well to help with what armour, and it's a Farstrider only specific one, but I am planning on getting in close to chopping 8 people, so should be very helpful. Next one is an Eagle Eye specific one, Furious Blow. During an attack that targets this fire and fails, they cannot be driven back and can make an attack action. The more attacks I can get, the better. Lone Warrior next rolls a single assist made for this fighter when they are targeted by an attack action, also counts successes when they are adjacent to no friendly fighters. So it gives them basically another 1/6 chance of surviving an attack, or another 1/6 chance of success during an attack against them. As I have Alone in the Darkness, my guys probably aren't going to be stuck together very much, so that should come in helpful. The next one I have is Overcharged Boltstorm Pistol Attack. 3 hammers, 1 damage, not bad. Has cleave, even better. And Sharp Eyes, one for Eagle Eye. All of his attacks gain cleave, so whether it's ranged or up close, they all get cleave. Thank you very much, that will definitely help me with what armour. And there's my more generic cards. I've got Army of 1. My guys are going to start to die at some point. I've only got 3 of them. So when I'm down to 1, and I'll inevitably get to that point at some stage, I can put this hopefully on the surviving person. They get +1 defense. They'll hopefully be rolling 3, and all their attacks have +1 dice. So their shooting will be 4 dice. I have Great Fortitude, +1 wound. Hopefully that will go on the same guy who has Army of 1 on them, and they will become a little Army of 1. I then have Rising to the Challenge. I'm suspecting that Sanson's going to die, because I am going to throw him in. I'm not going to be worried about my leader dying. If he dies, I can put this on someone else. They gain +1 wound, and all their attacks have +1 dice. Very helpful to put one of my other guys and beef them up. I then have Fighter's Ferocity. If I score a critical hit when making an attack action, +1 damage. Well, it's not range based, so I can use that with my ranged attack, my 3 hex shooting. So hopefully if I'm rolling 3 or possibly 4 dice, I've got a very large chance of getting a crit, and that's another +1 damage. Thank you very much. And then Glory Seeker, +1 damage to this fighter's attacks when they target a fighter with a wounds characteristic of 4 or more. Now, I'm not thinking specifically about the dwarves here, but a lot of people have at least 1 or 2 4 wound models. To be able to increase my regular 3 range 1 damage attack to 2 damage, that could be very useful indeed. And the last card I've got is Blazing Souls. It would be very helpful to be able to upgrade some of my guys without having to get into my opponent's half, at least initially, so I can enter their half on my terms. This one gives me another option in which to do that. I did think about taking the one where you have to stand on an objective, but depending on where the objectives end up, that might be not so useful, and it's another ploy, whereas this one's an upgrade, so I can put it on who I want when I want. So that's the deck. The tactics are pretty simple. I'm just going to sort of rush forward as soon as I can get some of my guys inspired, or possibly to inspire some of them, depending on how the cards come out. I might run some forward to get inspired whilst I inspire others using cards. Just get off as many ranged attacks as I can, just try and pick off one person at a time, focus fire them down, pew pew pew, that kind of thing. I'll be looking to get escalation hopefully fairly easily, and Alone in the Darkness. I don't think Robin will see Alone in the Darkness possibly coming, at least in the first time round. Strong Start, I'm hoping to be able to score fairly easy in What Armour as well, with all the different cleave options I've got bouncing about. Warning Shot and Branching Fate will reward me for rolling lots of dice. Death from Afar again helps with my range, so does Fusillade. Master of All I think is just me generally a fairly easy one to score. The only one I'm not probably that sure on now is Punishing Volleys, and I'm second guessing whether I should have taken that one. You be the judge, you'll see how it goes during the games. Let me know what you like in a Farstriders deck. I've deliberately not looked at any of the sort of online tournament decks for Farstrider whilst making this because I don't want to make another samey deck like everybody else. We certainly don't go for the whole tournament winning Uber decks on this channel. We are going for more entertainment and slight lightheartedness. We are certainly more casual, and I hope that that's one of the attractions of our channel. So do bear that in mind when you review this deck. I am going for fun, and I am going for just something a little bit different. I'm certainly not going for just an all-out glass winning deck here. But let me know, what cards would you definitely take, definitely not take? What tricks am I missing with the Farstriders? I hope to see from you in the comments below, and do check out the description to see how many ways you can support our channel and help us put out more Uber content for you, because Beast Gravies are coming. You never know what's going to be coming out with that one. So I shall see you soon in the Mirrored City. Bye!